right, good evening everyone and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Super Speedway Xfinity Series here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. A lot of drivers have been doing the road course over the past couple of weeks here, of course, with this past weekend, the Roar before the 24, and of course the big one this upcoming weekend, the 24 Hours of Daytona. So while you can see the infield there on the screen there, you can see the big track. However, we'll be running the outside oval, and hopefully won't see anybody using those road course portions of the track, especially not using the curb there on the exit of the bus stop down the backstretch. So drivers putting down their qualifying laps right now. But as always, though, 75 laps is our race distance tonight. Of course, that does apply for the potential of the green-white checkered finishes as well. So we could have 3 attempts of that should we need it. Drivers have 1 fast repair to use should they need so. That's always a strategy to try to keep in their back pocket, however. And then we got to pull up last week's results because it was a great finish for one of our drivers, and that being the number 59 of Jay Hilliard, getting the win, as you can see here, over Brian Grimm. Todd Steele's our top 3, and then Keith Horner Jr., Joseph Morales, our top 5. However, you see right there, also 34 drivers took part in that one tonight, and we are going to eclipse that number. We're going to be, I think, touching 40 drivers here tonight, so it's going to be a lot of cars on the track. And a little narrow track. That third lane is going to be a lot riskier to try to pull off here tonight, so we'll probably see some more 2x2. Probably the third lane will come in at some point, especially when it comes crunch time, but it's going to be very interesting to see what that strategies are going to be for tonight. That being said, though, I mean, bonus points go a long way. You see right there with Jay Hilliard with that win, getting 9 bonus points. But even look a little further down, Joseph Morales with 6, JD Crow with 7. 5 bonus points. If you have 0 incident points in this race, you get 5 bonus points. So keeping it clean is extremely crucial for tonight's event. So as we'll see if these drivers are able to maybe keep that in mind over the course of this one tonight. So again, while they're going over the rest of the laps here, I'm going to see if he's back first, but bring in my partner in crime. Been doing a lot of racing over with these guys over the course of a couple seasons. That's going to be Matt Wagner. But Matt, we got a full field here tonight. A little narrow track than Talladega. What are we looking for, you think, here this evening?
What's up, my Roar of the 24 winner? Yes, my partner in crime is a Roar of the 24 winner. I'd like to congratulate you on that one. But, yeah, like you said, there is no road course in here today. There's a lot of cars here tonight, more than we had last week. I'm looking forward to hopefully these guys can hold it together. But we'll probably see a lot of moving around here in the early going.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of action to watch for tonight. It's going to be just, I think, risk versus reward. We're going to see, of course, those that want to maybe try to be up front, control the race, control the pace of this race. But then you're going to have others that say, you know what, we're just going to ride it because we think this might get a little messy early, and we want to try to be there at the end. Of course, that old adage, if you're going to finish first, you first have to finish. So, but that being said, though, I think qualifying more important than I think a lot of other races tonight, because if we do get those green flag pit stops, which we should have 2 scheduled if we run the normal distance, if you start at the very tail end of the field here, we're going to be about 40-something drivers strong. I mean, that's going to be basically you hit that pit road mark, you're going to be needing to be slower than the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit and cutting into your pit stall before that even happens. So to me, I think even if you don't want to qualify at the front, I think putting in a lap time, at least putting in a lap time, will be beneficial for these drivers' cases here tonight.
As far as I'm looking at this field here tonight, I think qualifying up front is probably going to be the key here. Because if something happens and you're in the back of the pack, you're going to lose that front pack, and it's pretty much almost race over for you.
Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking the same, because we even had that race a few nights ago where there were a couple incidents that should have been a caution. The caution never flew, and it really shook up the field. At some point, the caution did come out to kind of bring everybody back together. But yeah, things like that do happen from time to time. Unfortunately, you never want to see it. However, it does happen, and so that could be one of those dangers that we talk about.
Looks like qualifying's over, and we have a surprise person on the front row.
Yeah, so you never would expect to see this pole sitter tonight, and that is going to be the number 23 of Sebastian Marin on pole position tonight. Next to him is going to be Mark Mann. I say for a plate race, I mean, he's got almost a quarter of a tenth of a second, which I mean, again, at a plate race, I think is pretty big right there. So that's a great lap for Sebastian Marin. You got Mark Mann next to him in second. Then you got Michael Pegg, Peter DeJoria, DeBoria. I'll have to ask. I'll say, I was mixing up drivers with NHRA and Area 51 here. Apologies for that. I'm going to guess Peter DeBorgia. We'll have to double check how to pronounce it. Vicente Guerrero, Patrick Groover, Seth Groover. Yet again, those, as I look at that, they run the same lap time there, 6th and 7th there. Then you got Dean Wilkinson, Robert DuPont, Cody Niegels, our top 10. 11 to 12th, you got Eric Laurie and Kwabi Brooks, our top 12. Continue on down, you got Zach Fritsch, Jimmy Reynolds, Brian Grimm, Keith Horner, Jay Hilliard, Les Levy, Derek Gilray, Kevin LaChance, Jack Walls, Mark Mastraya, David Overstreet, and TJ Mashaw in 24th. But again, we still got more to go here and a lot more to go. We got Rick Sebrands, Gaetano Papalardo, Gabe Butler, Joseph Morales, Donald Stewart, J.D. Crow, Robert Rock, William George, Jim Brooks, Scott Ferguson, Michael Spell, and TJ Allen in 36. But, Matt, we're not done. Let's keep on going here. You got Chummy Miller, Bob Fitzgerald, Dustin Lamb, James Hickson, Todd Seals, and Kyle Power. So 42 cars. I believe 41, because I think Gabe Butler, our in-race admin. But, yeah, 41 drivers look like we'll be taking the field here tonight. Taking the grid, I should say, here tonight. It's going to be a busy one this evening here at Daytona.
Yeah, I say I've had to expand my my overlay so I can see some lap times because we have so many cars here tonight.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I was looking. I usually don't have to scroll down to the next page of the drivers on the track here tonight, but tonight we're gonna have that. And so it's a good problem to have. So really want to thank everybody that's taking part in tonight's event. And I'm gonna kick things off with look at that outside row, that number 41 here. I'll say it's just not the front row. So we got the Batmobile here on track in that number 41. So I'll say these drivers have to watch out. Maybe has a little bit of some tricks up his sleeve there.
Yeah, I've never seen a guy race before. Quite interested what he has to bring to the table.
Yeah, so you got to be a little nervous when he's got the Batmobile paint scheme, I feel like. So we'll see what Mark Mann's got to offer. Like I said, I think new to the series, if I'm not mistaken. So really cool to see. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what he's got in store for us tonight. And then, like I said, we've got a couple new facers as well. Like I said, the 26 Peter DeBorgia. I'll say a nice little paint scheme there, the extra life on the side of that car. So really cool to see as well. And then I'll say obviously some of our familiar faces, the Groover brothers. We saw them work their magic on Thursday nights. So I'm going to have a lot of drivers here that'll be putting down some good laps. And looks like 39 drivers took the grid here tonight. So the 3 in the pits right now. Well, actually, I should say 2 in the pits, J.D. Crow and James Hickson. I'll have to keep an eye on those 2 drivers and see if maybe connection issues or something that's preventing them from gridding. But so right now, it looks like 39 drivers we have on track.
We have a hell of a field. Man, imagine if I was on the field here, I wouldn't have a chance against these fellas. These drivers here, a lot of talent.
And that's going to be the question, I think, is going to, like I said, I think risk versus reward, I think, is going to come into play. Like I said, my biggest question is going to be, do we see that third line form? And if we do win, I say, because this is, if you're in the 30s here, you're going to be way off the back. But that being said, though, again, it's Daytona. We got a quick green flag here, and we are down and away. It's going to be Sebastian Marin leading Mark Mann to the line as we get underway. Again, 75 laps is our scheduled distance.
Interesting to see how long it will take for them to get 3 wide here.
Yeah, I think that's the big question is if and when we see that third lane coming. It's not an if, it's going to be the win. But I kind of have that feeling these guys initially, I'm sure probably the admins of the series are probably like, hey, we got a really big field here tonight. Let's be smart. Let's kind of let it play out a little bit. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. We've got some insider info here as well on that number 41 Batmobile Mark Mann. Jimmy Crow popping in here. So Jimmy, always a pleasure to see you. He's saying one of the best super speedway racers. So I say obviously kind of shows just in the qualifying prowess. I say if you're gonna qualify second to anybody, being that 23 Sebastian Marin, that's not a bad place to be. And you see leads lap 1 and goes straight to the inside line as he heads into 1.
If you're going to make a debut here in Area 51, that's the way to make it there.
Yeah, exactly right. I do need to mention also 27 of James Hickson is back out on track. So right now that leaves 40 drivers on track. Unfortunately, definitely a disappointment for JD Crow. Say he's definitely one we like to see up front. He's a really talented speedway racer as well. So I'll have to kind of keep an eye and see, maybe find out what was going on with him. But right now, say we still stay 2x2, but these guys are definitely staying pretty packed up nicely here.
I see we got a new leader thanks to Patrick Gruber, probably one of the best pushers in our field here tonight. That and his brother Seth.
Yeah, those two are definitely pushing machines, and yeah, you're right. So it's put Peter DeBorgia up to the front there. As right now, like I said, still stays 2x2. The running order swapped a little bit, but basically running as if we're doing about, probably about 190 mile an hour pace laps here at Daytona. But yeah, so far it looks pretty calm, cool, and collected, I must admit.
So far, so good.
Yeah, and that's going to be the next thing too, is to see where things start to kind of calm down a little bit. And I think it's right around the 46 of Derek Gilleray. That's where things start to settle out into that single file action. And so I pretty much say week after week, that's pretty much where I would be riding if I had the opportunity. I'd be right around where Jack Walls are, where you're not having to worry about those cars to your outside, but you're still in that main pack with a little bit of breathing room as well. But I get a little nervous when I start getting further down the running order, like if you're, for instance, we're like TJ Allen, Dustin Lamb, Todd Steele. I don't like being that far back because it's so easy to potentially lose that draft. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how the race unfolds. But right now, like I said, still pretty calm. But I say Peter DeBorgia, he got to the front, he gets to the inside, and that's now allowed Patrick Gruber to try to lead that outside line.
Yeah, I kind of be like where Donald Stewart's at. Just a little bit of space in between you and the car in front, and just laying back, just chilling, just waiting for something to happen. Speaking of that guy, I think we're trying to get a third line here.
Well, I think Dean Wilkinson there just gets shuffled out, unfortunately, in that 55, and saying he's not going to have any openings here. You can see just dropping straight to the back. Right now, looks like his first opportunity is going to be right around, I'm trying to check what car number that is. I think that's the 60. Nope, actually he sneaks in right between the 37-17, so nice little opening there for Dean Wilkinson there between Jimmy Reynolds there. So able to get a little bit in there before it got too crazy, but yeah, that's going to be one of those concerns though, is if you get kind of shuffled out there, and that was exactly what happened. And I say that's a lot. Mark Mann said, yeah, you know what, I like leading that race. I'm going to jump back to the top here and try to get pushed back to the front again. Sure enough, leads that lap as well. So we have 6 down, and right now still is Mark Mann right now leading the outside line with a great push from Patrick Gruber. So if you want to see kind of how blind it is when you're kind of pushing that car in front, we'll hop on to Patrick Gruber here, and we'll take a ride here and listen in and see again just how little you see when you're right tucked onto the back of that car in front of you. Go from Patrick down to Seth, who's on the inside line. I say Seth, I think, actually playing it a little easier here so far, as running, just kind of cruising the inside line, it looks like, in that 02 car. And I'm saying this is an opportunity here, Matt, that we do a lot as well, where you just kind of stay just close enough to kind of still hold that draft nicely, but give yourself a little bit of breathing room. But also you can save a lot of fuel in those cars when you kind of keep that little bit of momentum between, or the margin, I should say, between the car in front and behind. So Seth might be looking at maybe a fuel mileage strategy right now to try to maybe run like an extra lap or so, or maybe still pit at a normal time, just have to take that little bit less fuel in that 02 car to shorten that pit stop up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not the expert on fuel on these stock cars. Personally, I'm not the best, but these guys are just expert at fuel saving. Me, I'm not one of them. Probably close to an Indy car, as you could say.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I mean, with the Indy cars, you've got knobs to turn, buttons to push, so you can adjust a lot of things on those cars. But when it comes down to with these cars, I mean, it's all about just throttle control and what the best approach is. Do you want to? Oh, as I said, there goes the 23 Sebastian Marin. He's going to jump to the top, and you can see there goes James Hickson. He's going to jump to the apron here to try to let these guys on by here. I think that's a good call for him to try to avoid any contact there.
We got a car on the apron. There's James Hickson.
Yeah, so he was off on his own.
He about came onto the track.
Yeah, I was able to catch it, though, so good save by James there. Hopefully he can try to tag onto the back of these guys. Otherwise, it's going to be another handful of laps, and he'll be right in the same mess, and I think he lost too much time there. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
No, that's the downside to say starting from the pits, nobody to work with. It's just, again, the lap time differential between draft and no draft is huge, but it's a tough decision to make there. Do you want to run the apron? Do you want to try to run the wall? Because of course, like I said, you can fit 3 cars there. It gets pretty tight depending on the how drivers are comfortable with doing it or not. So he opted to go with the apron there, and it's unfortunate. It's cost him a ton of track position, and unfortunately also the draft.
Yeah, as me personally, I would take the risk of running up top, because as risk versus reward in this kind of races, you lose the draft, it's pretty much game over. So you might go down 2 laps before this is over.
Yeah, exactly right. So he's got to hope, like I said, at this point, you never want to, but he probably has to root for a caution to get himself back in the mix. Howard Dooney mentioned, though, our pole sitter, Sebastian Marin, he's gotten himself back to the front there, able to lead a lap as well. So far, so good. We're already 10 laps into this one. And again, fuel window with these cars a little different than the trucks. They get a little better mileage with these cars, so look to see them probably pitting after the 25 lap mark. I would say 26, 27 most likely, depending on fuel savings. But it should be a 2-stop green flag strategy for these guys, whereas the trucks, you got to make that 3rd stop. Let's say they're box here, they got flatter noses, and I definitely punch a much bigger hole through the air.
Yes, so far so good. Still running 2x2. I'm not surprised they're not running 3 wide.
No, I think these guys know it's like, hey, Daytona, Talladega, they're definitely 2 different animals, despite them both being super speedways. So I think you got to race them a little different. And it shows in the running order. I'm looking through the field here, and there aren't very many high climbers right now. Most everybody's like maybe gained 2-3 positions somewhere in that range. Peter DeBorgia being one of those right now, 3 spots gained from a whopping 4th to 1st at the moment. So it just shows, there's a few here and there. Oh, we got a little bit of movement though towards the back. We got a couple of drivers that really kind of lost pace here of the pack. I think we had a bit of an accordion effect. So I'm looking at the back of Jay Hilliard in the 59. He's got some pretty good rear end center punch damage to that car. So definitely a checkup where he got a piece from behind there. I think it might be, who's that in front of Jack Wall? Is that the 62 Les Levy? I think it might be Les that may have gotten to him, because it looked like he had a little bit of nose damage to that 62. Oh yeah, that nose definitely punched in a little bit. And remember you talked about there, Matt, at the beginning, losing the pack here, and that's exactly what these guys are in danger of. Let's say if they can't get reorganized and get caught back up. But right now, I think they're close enough to be able to grab back onto these guys.
Oh yeah, there was a big, huge checkup. Shouldn't affect Jay Hilliard that much. I'd be worried about the nose damage of the other car.
Yes, and that's going to be the tough decision for Les Levy again, is if we do get to green flag pit stops, do you burn that faster pair or not, or do you maybe try to save and just but say if he gets a caution, I think at that point it's a no-brainer. You sit in the pits, you kind of take your lumps, get that damage repaired, and then you get back out and save that faster pair. So we'll have to wait and see, because again, still got about halfway through the fuel run right now. And saying we've got looks like 24 drivers right now in this lead pack, William George being kind of the tail end of it. However, now it's got Donald Stewart leading the second pack, but it's only 4 cars at the moment. And this is that concern we had, man. That's exactly what's happening here, is these guys are starting to lose touch of them. About 1.5 seconds between Rick Seabrands and William George right now. Or sorry, William George and Donald Stewart. Apologies.
Yeah, Les Levy needs to kick back and at least let Jack Walls push, because that front end damage, I think, is really hurting the push.
Yeah,
and really starting to lose the draft.
Yeah, exactly right. Probably isn't able to suck up the way he needs to be able to push that car, because it's held steady now at about 1.5, and that's right around the window of where you can really start to kind of sniff a little bit of that draft. So it hasn't really gone the wrong way. But yeah, that's definitely going to be what needs to happen. But you're right, though. Say that 62 is just too far off the 83 right now, and like I said, I think at this point either Jack's got to try to push him up to that number 78 car, or vice versa. So just like I said, just maybe have that 62 move and let someone else try to be the pusher in that second pack.
Yeah, because the last time by, they're about, well, if I look here on my scoring, they're about 0.2 slower per lap.
Yeah, exactly right. So say I'm still keeping. It looks like it is starting to close a little bit. Like it talked about being about 1.5, showing about 1.2 right now. So the gap is going the right way. So say, and like I say, once you get into a certain point, you start to pick up that draft clicks in. I think that's going to be off of Rick Seabrams right now in the 42. But actually, Rick's kind of dropped back just a little bit here as well off that pack in front. So say that'll give those guys just even a little bit more to kind of grab onto. Now it's within a second. So I think crisis averted for the second pack there. I think they should be able to catch back to the lead pack here. So I think Donald Stewart's able to lead those guys back up front here. But with our leaders, though, I would say that one big shakeup, though, that really did change the running order a little bit, kind of mid-pack. Like we're talking about no big climbers there, Matt. What it has allowed is some drivers to be able to kind of get around that and sneak up forward. So one of those being TJ Machon in the 33 car. He's now up 7 spots in that number 33, and right behind him as well, the 31 there of Gaetano Papalardo. He as well 8 spots gained right now. So little hiccups there do go a long ways to kind of open up opportunities, like I said, without forcing that third lane. So kind of a benefit for some of those guys there to kind of be able to creep up the running order a little bit here.
I just now took up a close-up of the Batman paint scheme. That's the old school Batman paint scheme. Hopefully you like the part of Victor Elling tonight in his first start here.
Yeah, so it's a good looking paint scheme there, so you can kind of see just the edge of it there as we were watching. I say we'll hop on board with Vicente Guerrero, get a good look out the back of it. I say, as I said at the end, they give me a big push down the back there, able to, nope, not able to quite clear. I thought he was able to clear 26, but I say, you got good pushers, though, say, because Sebastian Marin doing the same thing to that inside line, kind of helping them shove forward as well here. Do need to mention, though, the Groover brothers, they have found each other there in that inside line. They're running 4th and 5th on that bottom row. And then surprisingly, different strategy. I say, obviously familiar with some of these drivers more than others. I say, obviously, I have a little bit more insight on my brother in the 53 of Kwabi Brooks. He's actually decided to qualify towards the front and just kind of actually stay up front. Usually he's one that's more mellow, just try to kind of ride and bide his time and then try to maybe make a run later in the race. Looks like tonight he's opted to go ahead and try to be a little more aggressive here tonight, stay towards the front and kind of just have his own kind of, what do you want, maybe put fate in his own hands tonight. So I'd say he's being a little bit more aggressive than we've seen in previous races.
Whoa. Took a long time for it to render back up. I was trying to look and see where the rest of the gang is running. Jim Brooks, Robert Rock, and Joseph Morales. They're a little bit too far back in my taste. I don't like being that far back and losing touch. Looks like a little bit of rear end damage of Joseph Morales there. Someone got in the back of him.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like same kind of center punch damage as well that we talked about with one of the other drivers. So so that's just kind of that accordion effect you'll see from time to time. But you're right though. Say it has brought everybody back into the mix. Say one thing that unfortunately that looks like might be coming up yet again here, not too long of a distance, is going to be James Hickson getting put one more lap down here. He's about half a straightaway ahead of the leaders. He hits the line now as leaders just came out of 4. So it's going to be a similar situation where they're going to come up with him with a huge head of speed. The question is going to be whether or not he decides to maybe try to go and use that third line, or if he sticks with the apron plan. So we'll see if he makes any adjustments after the first time unfortunately kind of getting steamrolled there.
I don't know if Sebastian Marin and Peter, are they teammates? I have no idea.
They are in the same Discord. I'm doing a little bit of peeking around, and I do see Sebastian and Peter in the same Discord. So I think I would say probably pretty confidently, most likely teammates working together there in the 26 and 23, and doing a really good job of controlling this thing here. As we're already completed 20 laps here, Matt, going to start lap number 21. And I'm saying it's going to start to get a little more antsy here. We'll probably start to see some drivers try to find their way to squeeze into that inside line to be ready for pit stops.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mark Mann's in the same Discord with him at all, too. But you probably want to shuffle them two back. Try to shuffle him to the back. It's the only way it's probably going to work out.
Yeah, and they're coming back up on the 12 of James Hickson. Sure enough, yeah, he's going to drop to the apron here once more. Let's say, unfortunately, it's going to be a little tight here because let's say again they're all not going to quite clear him. I saw him drift up just a teeny bit there, but once again able to save it. But again, I don't think he's going to be able to pick up the speed to grab the. Actually, you know what? He might have a better chance this time. No, I don't think he's going to be able to tag onto the back of Todd Steele's there. So unfortunately, I think once more losing the draft.
That hurts. I totally disagree where he's running. You got to take that risk. You got to run up top. You cannot put yourself in a hole this early in the race. Speaking of hole, Gaio, we're expecting pit stops here pretty soon.
Yes, yeah, exactly right. And yeah, I'd say probably about 5 away, I would say, on the long side of things. So the question, of course, is what the strategies are going to be. Does anybody maybe try to pit at the number, or do we see drivers go a little bit further just to kind of, again, build that buffer zone or not? And, of course, again, with the field this big, you really hope that people spread out just that little bit, because otherwise, let's say, if you get 20 cars coming in, again, the thing is, when those incidents happen entering the pits, it's deemed off track, so iRacing doesn't throw a yellow for those, so that could be a potential make or break for some drivers' races.
I've lost races so many times in the pits, and I've won races out in the pits. I've gotten a lead so much time that the cars pitted behind me, got to run on me and pass me, looked like I was standing still. So you can have a good pit stop here and still get punished for it.
Yeah, no, exactly right. So you need to have friends on the entry and exit. So getting a little bit, again, more info. Say, as I love Jimmy Crow chiming in here and chatting with us. I say we've got apparently a Gabe Butler protege. I don't know if he meant the 40s. He said the number 40, but I think he may have meant the 41. I'll have to, so you have to chime in and update that for us there, Jimmy. But
that's Mark Mann.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably the 41 of Mark Mann, the Gabe Butler protege. But I'll say if that's the case, I'll say the field's going to be in for a tough time here.
I think that's what Gabe Butler brought him in here. He's his protege.
Yep.
We'll have to see.
Well, I was saying again, just the selflessness of drivers. Gabe actually kind of stepping away from racing duties, kind of help the league out, do a little bit of administrative work on the back end, helping these guys out. There's a little bit of bobble there from the 26 out of 4. Definitely got my attention there, but looks like, again, everybody able to give room and hold on here. But yeah, I'd say it's definitely a moment there. But yeah, right now these guys, and you can see, look at the outside line here, Matt. You've got now, 7 cars on the outside line. Everybody's trying to find a way to get to the bottom. But this is the opportunity for those that have been saving all race long, that they've gone ahead and they're going for the this is the time to jump to that top side. So yes, actually, okay, so it's actually Peter DeBorgia. That is the protege, of Gabe Butler. So, and I mean, he's shown to qualify in 4th, and right now led some laps and is in a great spot so far. As here comes some strategy calls. Some drivers going to pit a little early. Going to start with the Groover brothers, and say they're going to bring a handful more in with them as well. You see the 07. A little bit of contact in the back. Jay Hilliard gets caught around. I couldn't tell who caught him there, but you can see everybody's starting to stack up. That was the concern I had. And yeah, everybody's just trying to sneak on by. So yeah, it looks like from about 23rd to 39th here, all hitting pit road. So I mean, and that's a big group. I'm surprised actually to see them in that early. That's coming at 26. I figured they could go a little more than that, but I think that's the short pit strategy there. Okay, and yeah, so the car number normally he's number 40 tonight with Area 51. He's 40. The 26 here is 40 was already taken. But I think now we're going to probably see some reaction for pit stops here from this second group. And yeah, here they come. We'll see. I see Kwabi Brooks. He's going to continue to go out. Oh, Sebastian Marin, I say he always makes pit road very exciting. And once again does the same there. But looks like he's able to get in cleanly. Eric Lorian along with them. I see the 46, the 66, the 68. So again, looks like about this one 6th through 22nd. So another big group of drivers. And that's led, I say now this is a tough spot for Kwabi Brooks, Zach Fritsch. What they're going to do here is they're just going to go for everything they're worth here. Just kind of push and push and push, steal any draft they can. because, of course, 2 cars, you're not going to get as much of speed as you might with a bigger group of cars here. But we'll definitely see that 53 hit pit road here, along with Jack Walls, Jim Brooks, Michael Spell, and Bob Fitzgerald will be the remaining drivers that hit pit road here, coming to lap number 28.
Trying to look out, see where my Groover brothers are at.
Oh, that looked a little hot for that 53, Matt.
Oh, an incident on the track there.
Trying to see if I can find where it may have been. I say everything's updating so quick right now. However, Sebastian Marin and Peter DeBorgia, they get out with a huge margin over everybody else here, Matt. I say so far no yellow, so not sure what the incident was. And say again, trying to find.
It's the number 46.
Oh yeah, you're right, Derek Guillory. We'll go back here. We're gonna take a look on that 46 car. Oh, pit exit as well, and see if it's just maybe grabbed a gear wrong or what happened. So we'll watch the 46 here. Of Derek Guillory. Oh, just looks like I think missed a shift there, or maybe actually grabbed the gear wrong. Unfortunately, we'll go back and we'll listen on board here, but did a great job of jumping out to avoid a caution. So hats off to him for a quick response here.
Oh,
let's listen in. Yeah, I think grabbed the wrong gear, unfortunately, in that 46 car. Like I said, took a quick tow to the pits, so that's unfortunate. And something going on with the 53 of Kwabi Brooks. I think maybe it missed his pit stall. I'm not sure, because I think he's having to limp this thing back to the pits here, Matt, as he's now just trying to just slowly but surely drag that car to the pits. But I say the field's starting to get settled back in here, and it's now Sebastian Marin who's going to take the point there. Just got around of Zach Fritsch there in a 12 car. And so, yeah, so right now
he's got a black flag.
I think he may have got in too hot there on pit entry from what I was looking at.
It's tough break for Kwabi there.
Yeah, so that's the thing is a lot of these races you just cannot make mistakes. But so right now what we've got here is we've got a 9-car breakaway on the lead pack. So you got Sebastian Marin leading, Peter DeBorgia in second, Vicente Guerrero third, Mark Mann up into fourth. You're wondering about the Groover brothers. There they are, fifth and sixth. And so of course they're done riding. They're going to jump to the top now. And then Robert DuPont as well. A great pit stop for Robert in the 07 car. He sits in seventh. We mentioned Zach Fritsch. He went the furthest of these guys. He went 27 laps. He was able to hold on to that draft as well. He sits in ninth. And then Michael Pegg as well, now up into eighth. Kind of bounced between eighth and ninth there, also on the outside line. So, so basically a 9-car lead pack breakaway here. So great job by those drivers hitting pit road, getting in and out. And they got about 2.5 seconds over the second pack here, being led by David Overstreet. With Gaetano Papiardo behind him.
Speaking of the Groover brothers, they were hooked up, and along with Michael Pegg, they're following them.
Yeah, I say at this point now, so you know you got the margin of these guys in front of you. I say this is where contact. Big wreck. That's gonna bring out the yellow. Yep, caution is out. Oh, and the field's coming. They gotta react to this, and you can see wrecking
Jack
behind.
Walls got into him.
Yeah, I see multiple cars involved here, and behind us, that wreck was in a bad place. Let's say drivers come out of turn 4, and you see still drivers trying to get checked up here. Say they got to try to keep kind of wind that thing back down after the yellow's flags out there. That's going to put our yellow out for the first time here tonight on lap number 31. Let's go back and see what exactly happened here, and we'll try to catch who all was involved, because it definitely had a handful of drivers in this one.
I have to believe that was a push gone wrong. Nope. Looked like the 26 got on the apron.
Let's back it up here. We went just a little too far forward here. Oh yeah, I saw that from where I was looking at too. Let's go back. Let's take a better look here. So we're watching the 26 of Peter DeBorgia here following. Again, unfortunately, you're pretty blind when you're right behind a car in front of you, that being Sebastian Marin. And yeah, you see right there, just catches that yellow line, and at that point just kind of sucks the car along. And then unfortunately, just kind of the accordion effect. See the 14 gets in the back, the 41 there. And then it looks like everything was almost okay, but then unfortunately, say that accordion kind of collapsed with the 07 of Robert DuPont. Nothing he could do as well. And then from that point on, I mean, look at Vicente just going for a ride in that 14 car. You see Robert DuPont also getting a piece. I think I see the 12 of Zach Fritsch also there as well. See great brakes by Scott Ferguson, the 4 car. He just pretty much comes to a stop. But then here's the problem, though. the whole field here just come with a big head of steam there. You see the 42 gets sent around there as well as they start to woe up here. And then, yeah, Vicente just for good measure gets another pop, like you said, from Jack Walls there. And
oh, yeah.
a lot of
hard hit. Yeah.
It's a tough situation there because, yeah, you sometimes, I mean, you're afraid to get on the brakes too hard because you don't want to get run over, but then that kind of puts you in a bad spot where you just are way too aggressive yourself. So, yeah, you're kind of in between a rock and a hard place there, unfortunately. So, with that, though, we're going to jump back live here because we have some of a mixed bag here strategy-wise. We got 3 drivers stayed out. We got the Groovers and Joseph Morales. Michael Pegg on back went ahead and topped off on fuel. And then trying to then we'll have to see where everybody's running order, if anybody's a lap down or
looks like Chummy Miller got the wave by, if I'm correct. Yep, he did.
Yeah, looking for that 40. Yep, over 40. Yep, there he goes.
And that's a big break for their Kwabi Brooks because he could have gone 2 laps down with that black flag he had to serve.
Yeah, that's a great point. We need to kind of look at the running order once everything cycles through here. But I believe we're going to have, with Chummy getting the lap back there, I believe that's going to give us 34 back on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so it's going to leave Todd Steele, Scott Ferguson, Dustin Lamb, and Kwabi Brooks all 1 down. And I believe James Hickson is going to be 2 laps down still at the moment here. But this will be, and actually, unfortunately for Todd Steele, probably, look where he is on track here, Matt, was probably hoping that those guys were going to pit in front of him, but instead he's going to duck in here because he wants to make sure he's got fuel kind of in his corner as well. Whereas if those guys had pitted, he would have got the wave around there on the 1 to go. So that being said, we are on the 1 to go.
Yeah, if I was running up to the front, I would still come in and topped off. That's it's plain and simple. You want to try and shorten your stops as much as possible. Less times in the pits, you're probably going to be running up toward the end. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, any time you can shorten your pit stops, definitely the better. So, yeah, so basically right now, you're going to have the Groovers 1 and 2. And, of course, now on the restart mat, they have control of this one, so they can opt to go whenever they choose to. So we might see them jump a little early, try to get lined up, and then get where they want to be. Like I said, Joseph Morales also stayed out in the 60 car. He now jumps up into that 3rd position, which puts him at 25 spots gained, so from 28th to 3rd. So obviously good strategy call, I think, for him to get some track position. And we're going to go the other way now because we got some drivers that opted to go ahead and top off, and they're way down the running order. One of those being Sebastian Marin here was in the top 3 or so when that yellow came out. He's going to be down in about 27th or so roughly. This is an interesting strategy call for him. I feel like track position may have been more important, but as you know, as I well know, a lot of opportunities, of course, to be able to work his way back to the front, but it's just going to have to try to keep it clean here. All right, with that, though, pace car is just about to duck off. It's going to hand it over to Patrick and Seth Groover. And again, they can opt to go when they want. You can see they jump a little early here, and you're going to see that 02 duck right behind the 01. There's a cross start finish line as they're going to control this race here on this restart on lap number 34. Again, still 1 scheduled pit stop left to go in this one here. Now the question, of course, is going to be a little bit of mixed strategy on the mileage right now of who pitted when and such.
So I've got 3 cars that stayed out, the Groover brothers and Joseph Morales. I would have took time to go ahead and fix that rear end damage of the 60 car. I'm not sure if he even knows he has damage.
Yeah, it's definitely a potential. You see Michael Pegg there looking at the back of Patrick Groover right now, but Michael Pegg working the outside line. But right now, nobody's really feeling like working that second groove as of yet. I say no pun intended there with the Groover brothers leading. But yeah, right now, everybody pretty single file. I think that's also getting a part of going that little bit early. It kind of spreads that field down. They're gonna take a couple laps to really kind of get all squared back together here. As we continue to watch out the back of Patrick Groover, saying these two, Patrick and Seth, when they get locked on together, be it these cars, the trucks on Thursdays, they are a very tough combination to get around, even when they're on the inside line. And people seem to think the second groove might be about where the more momentum is. So these guys doing a great job here controlling this race here after this restart.
Them boys need to show me their secrets.
Well, I'll say if it was, let's say if you can figure out a way to become a triplet instead of them being twins, let's say I think that might be the magic trick there. But
Yeah.
you're right though. Let's say that when those two are together, I mean, like I said, they are a very tough combination to beat. So let's say again, long ways to go here. Just starting lap numbers 36 of 75. So we got 40 to go here. Not quite at the halfway point. But I say now Michael Pegg has got some friends on the outside line. He's got Keith Horner there. He's got Gaetano Papiardo there behind him. 33 TJ Mashak, he's back as well. And of course, the question mark we're going to have, Matt, is which drivers had to burn a fast repair, which ones still have the one in the bank, just in case of those big late yellows. You always want to have one in store. So we're going to have some comers and goers, and just some drivers are going to have to be a little more cautious now. Of course, probably not having a fast repair left in their pocket. Right now, though, Keith Horner giving great pushes to Michael Pegg there at the line. I think Michael may have just had a nose ahead. You can see there again, not quite enough to clear entering one. Oh, he's thinking about it. There he goes. He is going to clear. I think the O1 probably caught him a little bit of slack there as well, and said, "You're clear enough. Let's not make this worse." So that's going to be Michael Pegg now leading that outside or inside line. I'm sorry, and then now Keith Horner going to lead that outside line and getting a great push from that 31, as we were just talking about him as well, as he's going to get a nose ahead here entering 3. So right now here, Matt, the whole field pretty much all running 2 by 2. I mean, like I said, we're going to continue down the running order here, and just so many drivers here, all 2 by 2. It's like earlier we saw a lot of drivers kind of single out there. Oh, we saw a little bit of off-roading there. I think that was Les Levy having to. We're talking about not having to use the road course section. Unfortunately, I think Les may have just got a piece of that one. Got a little bit of curb and ramped that car up in the air just a teeny bit, and unfortunately, though, that's going to cost him the draft here. So. But yeah, right now though we got about looks like 33 drivers here in this lead pack right now. Robert Rock also talked about drivers getting kind of that rear end damage. He's got a pretty solid center punch to the back of his car as well in that 171. So yeah, just right now kind of a rough go for some of these drivers here. But right now though, just crossed the halfway mark in this one here. 37 laps to go. And right now still continues to be Keith Horner on the inside line. Was on the outside line leading. Now he got that push. He got to the inside line as well. And he kind of just continued that cycle there, it seems like, Matt, where driver gets the push, he'll drop to the inside once he's clear. And I think that's just kind of a thank you to the pusher to be able to let them get some clean air on their nose and kind of cool those temps back down.
We got not a surprise running at the front, but he's been up there a few races that I've been in. Shout out to Michael Spell running up there in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as you were talking about. I saw that the paint scheme. I say still getting used to it, but I'll say it's a great looking paint scheme. It helps him stand out really nicely in the crowd as well for Michael there. But yeah, you're right though. He's had a lot of good runs. Just he's been up front in contention. Just sometimes wrong place, wrong time, gets caught up in incidents and. But right now, like I said, in a really good spot here. Say him and actually right behind him too, Kyle Power in the 35 car. Also a good run for Kyle here. Again, I think new to the league, either new to the series, new to the league, not sure which. But also a great run for him. As saying, talk about those big climbers. He was one of the drivers that pretty much started towards the very back of the field right now, Matt, because right now showing him plus 34 from where he started.
Yes, he is new to the league. That's guy just. Sign up not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, so getting some new names, new faces. Same thing goes like talk about TJ Mashaw, Gaetano Papiardo. These guys all relatively new to the league, to the series, but obviously showing a lot of talent behind the wheels on all these guys. And it's not about outright speed that we talked about, man. I mean, we've seen the give and take. They clear the driver, they'll drop to the inside, the next driver will kind of take over. And that's, I think, honestly, to me, that's more important than having that overall outright speed with these cars, is to be able to do that give and take and just have good, clean racing. So again, I mean, when you've got 40 cars in this race here, you don't know what you're gonna have in these races. And so far, these guys have put on a great show here. Hopefully not jinxing here as we already crossed the halfway point, but We're at 35 to go, 34 at the line. So the next thing we're going to have to watch here, Matt, is going to be, again, that pit strategy. 3 drivers pitting, not pitting on the caution, which is around lap 25, so they probably have to come in, or I'd say around 52, let's say. But then those drivers that pitted under yellow at 31, look to see them all pitting probably around that 46, 48 range, most likely.
Yeah,
or,
we
sorry.
don't need no...
Sorry.
So you're fine. You're fine.
56, 58 range. I'm off about 10, but you knew what I meant.
Yes, I did. But no commentators' curses today.
Yeah, let's hope for no commentators' curses. And yes, Karen, exactly right. 1 faster pair this evening. I believe your boys have been able to stay nice and clean so far as well. We got a lot of movement there from Michael Spell. Was really wobbly there through 3 and 4. Not sure if he got a bump that kind of sent him off, but able to gather it back there. Definitely was the handful for him right there, though. But yeah, so we drivers again do have the 1 faster pair that they have available to use whenever they deem necessary, and of course the 3 attempts of a green-white checkered finish as well. So we could finish at lap 75. We could even wind up getting into the 80s or close to 90, depending on when those cautions fall and if we need them. Actually, we didn't mention that as well, Matt, is the Lucky Dog battle. So right now, it's Dustin Lamb in the 91. He's sitting in that Lucky Dog position right now and really kind of in the thick of the battle here, or in the thick of the pack, I should say, with some teammates around him. Next in line would be Scott Ferguson in the 4 car. And we can see he's a couple rows behind him for that Lucky Dog. Kwabi Brooks right there as well, just to the outside in the 53. And then, unfortunately, Todd Steele. I think Todd was one of those ones that got caught up in that pit road incident, which dropped him a ton of positions. And so basically, those are the 4 right now that are in the Lucky Dog positions here. But again, though, if we get a yellow, Matt, that means they have to get through that through the incident unscathed and not be involved in it. Because if they get involved in it, at that point, all bets are off, and it probably winds up not giving it to them. As I say that, TJ Mashaw, and I'm gonna. I
saw what you saw.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain exactly what happens there. So, TJ Mashaw, he got the push he needed to. He was able to clear the inside line. He dropped to the inside line, but then when you're that pusher, for instance, when you're Michael Spelder in the 88, that whole run basically you're just following that 33 car, and so basically you do what that car in front of you does. But then when they make that move to go to the inside line to change lanes because they're clear of the 31, obviously he wasn't clear, but you almost get mesmerized where you're following that car for so long, and then it's like, okay, he's dropping to the bottom, I need to follow too, and then at some point, like, your kind of reaction or instincts kick in, and you think, oh wait, no, I'm not doing that yet. I gotta stay in my line. But as I say that though,
here comes that. They're kicking Michael Spell out.
I say they're gonna put Michael in the sucker hole, if you will, in that 3rd lane here. And I say, I don't. Oh, as I.
Whoa! Oh, there contact.
They go. Yep. Oh, yep. 01 and 02 contact Michael Spell around as well. And that's the danger of the 3 wide here at Daytona. Just it's a little riskier. You can see a great job of the 01 there. Patrick Groover holding the brakes there as he's about to head back out on track. And that's going to bring out our 2nd yellow here at lap number 46. But that's the risk of that 3rd lane there. Let's say, especially when you're kind of caught in the middle, you're just kind of stuck between in a tough spot there. So I think Michael may mostly get away with it. Looks like a little bit of damage there to his car, but we'll go back and take a look. But again, the question now is going to be drivers involved or not involved for that Lucky Dog. We'll have to see who gets that wave around as well. Let's go back to this incident started. We'll say we saw it happening through 3 and 4, and unfortunately, that was pretty much all it took.
I see. He just right up to one of the Gruber brothers and kind of sent him the car to a nice little crazy spin, and that's all she wrote there. It was just on from there.
Yeah, so they just got a little bit off. So we'll back it up one more time here, so, just so we can get kind of the view of where it all kicked off there. But we could see a little bit of movement coming from that 88 car. So once he got put in the middle, and you can see right there, he drifts up a little bit, just catches the side of the 01, and then at that point you can see the slide. He's got to try to catch it. But then in doing so, trying to catch it, he then winds up going right back across into the 01. And they say there's nothing at that point those guys around them can do. Joseph Morales, no, he does get, okay, I was going to say Joseph may have been able to peek through, but he gets a pretty good shot to the door there as well. We're going to jump through here to kind of keep an eye on the drivers that are able to peek through all of this as well. Drivers are pitting right now. I do need to mention that.
Yes, they are. Looks like the 33 missed his stall, so he's kind of be shuffled up to the back.
But as a whole, though, great job by everybody else to miss that incident. I'll say I'm going to do this last little second. We're going to go to Todd Steele's here. You're going to see, so this is where if you're Todd Steele's, you're getting a little nervous here because you see that 01 coming back up. Like I said, he was able to lock the brakes back down and avoid that. So great job as well. I mean, that's really goal number one, is to kind of get those brakes locked down to avoid any contact. So let's jump back live though here, Matt, because now it's going to be all about strategy. And on that strategy side of things, let me see. Yep, it's the 91 being waved around. So that's going to be Dustin Lamb. He is back on the lead lap. But what we also have going on here, Matt, is I see 2 cars in front of our leader, Kwabi Brooks being one of them. And trying to check who this other one is.
That's JD Crow.
That's 5. So JD Crow, he's made it back. Unfortunately, he's got some damage from it. And he is sitting numerous laps down here as well. But hey, I mean, might as well get some laps in if you can.
Why not?
Unfortunately,
enjoy the fun.
The downside is, though, getting caught up in that incident, though, that could have been 5 points that could have gone his way. Some bonus points for having an incident-free race. So unfortunately for JD, that's going to go away. But what Kwabi is going to be doing here is he's going to pit. He's going to go ahead and get that wave around here on the 1 to go. And that'll put him back on the lead lap. But, of course, in a much, much worse fuel situation than those around him. And again, more drivers here topping off, man. I'm looking at the numbers here. We're going to restart this actually with 27 to go. If we go to regulation, could somebody here topping off at 27? I think that's right on the edge of making this here. So this is a big call for some of these drivers. I say Peter DeBorgia being, I think, the first of those to do so. Mark Mann as well. Looks like the 83 of Jack Wall's just rolling out of pits as well. So this could get interesting here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the guys who took the waiver here. Now Kwabi is going to need another. It's going to need a caution for to make this work. But if you would have come in and topped off, you probably can make it from here to the end. It'd be close. It'd be very close. The most I ever made it was 27 laps.
Yeah, so it's going to be right on the absolute edge, but I'd say some of these guys are fuel-saving machines, so we'll have to wait and see here as, let's say, down the backstretch, lights are off of the pace car. You see the rest of the field trying to catch on back up. But we're going to restart this one here, Matt, with 27 to go. All right, so Field's still trying to get all caught up here, but pace car is off. It's going to be Michael Pegg, Keith Horner on the front row. And we're going to restart this thing with 27 to go at the line. Michael Pegg is letting down. Here we go. It's going to be 31-33 on row number 2. And I'd say it's going to be a bit of a catch-up, I think, for some of these guys a little further back, so we'll see how this restart goes here. Right now, staying solidly 2x2 down the back. Looks like the whole field's been able to catch one another, so I think we're okay there. But right now, just a nose ahead is Keith Horner getting a great push from that 33 of TJ Mashaw. And the driver we haven't talked about tonight, but has been up front all evening long, so that's the 06 of Cody Neagles. He's done a really good job as well to keep himself in contention, stay out of trouble as well. Right now, that third car in that outside line, and also the 78 Donald Stewart, he's found his way now up into the front, working that second groove as well. You see Robert DuPont thought about trying to do that third line there, but there was someone already there, and that was the 19 of Kevin Chance. And Robert said, yeah, you know what, on second thought, I'll drop back to the inside line there.
Woo! Boy, this race is separated into a couple of lines here.
Yeah, so listen, that's kind of, it seems like it's been happening on these restarts. Everybody kind of has to try to get reorganized here. So what we do have right now, though, is looks like 36 drivers on the lead lap. I believe Todd Steele, Scott Ferguson, those that are in the lucky dog position right now. Todd Steele's being the first of those. However, Joseph Morales, he is off the draft here, so he's not in a great position for himself. But I think what we got to watch here, Matt, is going to be the first driver that topped off on fuel if we get to that fuel mileage side of things. And at the moment, it looks like that's going to be Jack Walls in the 83, and I love where Jack is here on the inside line, so he's going to be able to keep saving fuel as he runs here. So I really like what Jack's got going on here. He could be in the catbird seat should we go green in the end. This could be a great strategy call for that 83 car. I'm saying Jack's definitely one that loves to gamble on fuel.
I am not the biggest gambler. It has bitten me too many times. I know what it's like to be short a couple of laps and fall short. It's a bad feeling, but I like what Jack's doing right now. Oh, we got a crash.
Oh yeah, we do.
No yellow. It's still going.
At the moment, we'll see it say Adams May. Yeah, we're gonna yellow here because we got cars going around. Yep, there it is, right there. Unfortunately. You see multiple cars involved. Looks like it may have kicked off up front while we were watching all of that here. You see a 31's involved. 53 is involved as well. He's got some motor damage too. But if he has a faster pair, that should still be able, as he'll still stay on the lead lap with that. But let's go back. Let's find what exactly happened here. Say apologies. I missed that myself. It looks like it may have gone around. I think it may have happened around Zach Fritsch, it looks like here.
Nope. The 31.
Oh, yeah, the 31 there. And that's contact with the 78.
Corrector.
Oh, okay, yeah, and you see Zach, he goes to the apron. Looks like all is going to be well. And then he just gets unfortunate, gets caught by the 31 coming back across his nose. And then at that point, from, let's say, behind there, it's pretty much, honestly, all bets are off. You can see everybody starting to react to it. I think, honestly, what may have got some of them is Robert DuPont here just sliding up. Actually, no, it looks like he hangs on to it, too. So you're trying to see where it caught in the rest of these drivers here. I'm watching, let's see, the 60. Oh, actually, I think it might be right here. It might be the 68 car. Actually, it looks like he's saving it, too, David Overstreet.
Looks like the 53 got involved. The 53, the 88, the 31, and the 12.
Yeah, it's kind of that accordion effect that basically starts catching people back up after the incidents here. So, yeah, unfortunately, that puts us back under yellow. Handful of drivers here involved. So what we'll do is let's jump back live here. And then, Matt, what we're going to do is we're going to step away for just a moment while these guys run under yellow. And we'll be back here on the one to go. We are back as lights are off on the pace car. So right now we've got TJ Machado, Cody Niegels on the front row here. And then you got Robert Dupont, Vicente Guerrero, row 2. And I think with this yellow mat, it puts everybody good to the end on a scheduled distance. However, I think from Michael Pegg on back, pitting under that yellow, that puts them good to go to the green-white checkered as well. So we'll see how it goes here as the pace car is ducking off. It's going to leave the 33 to lead the field as he's going to hit turn number 1, and tri-oval, and we're back to green here with 20 to go.
I expect things to ramp up here about 3 wide here in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, I think 3 wide is probably starting to become more of a reality. So we'll have to wait and see on that one as well. So, but right now, still 2 by 2 as we go down the back. Field's kind of spread out once again just a little bit. We unfortunately got a couple of stragglers off the track or not off the track, but kind of off the lead pack here as well. I see the 27, the 4 car, the 45, and the 55 with Dean Wilkinson. So just unfortunately, some of these drivers getting caught up in things and not able to get back to the field in time for that restart. So, and unfortunately for the Groover brothers, it looks like that's night over for them in 39th and 40th. So they had a really good showing, but just unfortunately luck not on their side here this evening. So I'll say honestly though, that for some of these other drivers, that might open up some potentials for them to kind of sneak into the mix like we talked about. I mean, when some of the big contenders get knocked out, it kind of opens opportunities for some of these other big drivers. But we still got some big names up front, like Sebastian Marin's right there still. And we always expect to see him towards the top 3 at the closing stages of this race. So we'll see. We still got lots of racing to go here.
Yes, sir. We might have probably a new leader coming here pretty soon. Is that our new driver here, Gaio?
TJ Machado, I believe new to the series as well in that 33 Dude Wipes Chevrolet. So TJ Machado putting his name up in the front here. They start off strong is always a nice way to kick things off, but he's going to want to be in that position in about 18 more laps as we got 18 to go. But yeah, so far a great job by these guys. Like I said, still all holding pretty solidly 2 by 2 here. Yeah, you see Dean Wilkinson there already kind of prepping, it looks like, to work down the apron. But I see a third line thinking about forming here. But right now, Keith Horner, he's there and he's on his own. Nobody's going with him yet. We'll see if he gets any takers in the coming laps here. But right now, he's kind of a lonely man on that third lane. Like you said, though, Matt, it's bound to happen. It gets a little sketchier, though. So you can see there's room for it to happen. But everybody's got to be on their best behavior there when they do it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to go with him. When you go up there, you're probably going to lose more spots. There he goes, tucks in right behind Michael Pegg there. Yeah,
sneaks in behind Michael Pegg in front of the 38 of Donald Stewart, 78 Donald Stewart. So, but yeah, I mean, but it, like you said though, it's only a matter of time. That third lane is going to form because at some point, I mean, if you're sitting in the 20s, you're good to you're good to the end, and you don't want to finish in the 20th position. So it's like, well, where do you go? Middle lane, bottom lane, those are all blocked up. So, well, that leaves the upstairs. So we'll see. I say the question, like I said, it's not an if, it's going to be the when. And we saw the 37 car, he's ready, but didn't have anybody else ready to go with him as of yet.
Well, as far as his strategy goes, I'd probably like one of those Chummy Miller and the Esports guys. I would probably expect something big to happen and just ride in the back till something big happens and then go for the front. But that's not always the best strategy there, Gaio.
Yeah, you never know what's going to work when. I mean, that's the thing with these plate races is the big incidents could happen up front. They could happen towards the back of the field. It's always kind of a guessing game, honestly. So we'll have to wait and see. But we do have those. We got 15 to go here. And right now, still is the 06 and the 33 leading that front row here. And they're doing a really good job. And like I said, just you see again a little bit of bobble from a couple cars around them. I think again that's just these drivers probably started getting a little bit antsy. Oh, as I said, Jack Walls Something happened to Jack. He's dropped off track and saying his car kind of disappeared there. Let's see if he's still on track. I'd say,
yeah, his car disappeared from me as well.
He's straight up gone. So whatever happened to Jack, though, but a great heads up by him to cut that car straight left and just kind of get off the racing surface and try to let this thing play out. So unfortunately, I hate it for Jack because he was having a great run. He's in a great position there. But yeah, so I'd say, but did a really heads up job of kind of doing what he could to kind of get the best result for the rest of the field there. So definitely hats off to Jack there.
Either something happened, probably on his personal side, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so either maybe a hardware failure or something like that. But yeah, just that car just kind of cut straight left. So we'll see. But we do have still, again, 14 to go. They are coming up for a little bit away from the 45 of Todd Steele's. And I think that's what drivers have to start looking at is, okay, are we going to catch traffic? When are we going to catch traffic? Does that play a role in when we maybe consider trying to use that third lane?
Probably our best opportunity. Yep, there goes Jack Wallace. Yeah, he had a little bit of server error.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Having a great run here tonight. So we'll see.
As we're talking about the third lane, I'd probably wait till about 5 to go. That would just be my opportunity to try and get that third lane going and see if you have an opportunity. And hopefully you get a push, you can get to the lead. But we've seen the third lane work there, Gaio.
Yeah, no, third lane definitely will work. It's just getting the right people lined up together, and I think that's going to be the biggest question mark is can they find people together to get up there? But I mean, we do have some great drivers. I mean, we saw Mark Mann leading a bunch. He's on the outside line, and he's got that 777 of Michael Pegg behind him. Those could be a very, very stout duo as well. So, but that being said, though, they're just about to come up in that 45 of Todd Steele's here. So now, again, this is kind of decision time. And we're going to get our first glimpse here, Matt, of the lap car working the third line, it looks like, instead of the apron. So we'll see if these guys can kind of navigate that 45 cleanly. Because it shouldn't be an issue, but everybody always gets a little more tense when they get to this point. And you can see it looks like everybody does a great job of getting around him. So let's say he's still obviously going to kind of still get steamrolled here as they go down the back. But let's say for Todd here, he just needs to try to find somewhere to sneak on in. You always hope that you can find the hole to kind of poke in there, but no, just had almost a point to get there, but unfortunately that's going to get filled right away as well. So it looks like Todd's going to drop straight to the back of this draft. However, is going to be the first car one lap down if my numbers are correct, so we'll keep an eye on that as well because that's going to be crucial for him in case of a late yellow.
Yeah, it was a great run for him last week. It's a tough break for him this week.
Oh, it's still, they're not done, though. They're tight. You see the 53 in the middle there. Todd Steele was trying to just give enough room there. They just finally get squeezed in there. But, I mean, it took pretty much that whole lap there to finally get squared away. And, yeah, that definitely got a little bit sketchy. But we're down here, 11 to go here, Matt. And, yeah, I think, like you said, I don't know if these guys are going to wait till 5 to go. I think we might see that third lane happen before we get to that point.
Yeah, these drivers look kind of antsy, and they're getting a little bit up here, a little chatter on the radio. So expect things to happen here probably the next few laps.
I mean, there's no question. I think the 37 of Keith Horner, he's shown his hand. He's telling these guys, hey, you saw me try to work that third line earlier. You know I want to make it happen. So I think drivers are going to kind of recognize that. As you see, they're coming back up again once more here on James Hickson. And again, James is going to go straight to the apron, which at this point, unfortunately for James, I think that's the right call because he's numerous laps down here. He's not going to be able to get that lap back to get back on the lead lap. So I definitely agree with that decision there.
Yeah, I see the 37 trying to show his nose. Hi, hey, come with me, let's go. Got to get to the front, but 7-8's not having it.
Yeah, I think it's just everybody knows it's kind of, and the thing is too, you kind of get the third line. It really has an ebb and flow. There's times when the third line really starts to pick up strong, but then after a couple laps, it might fall back a little bit if they just can't stay lined up quite correctly here. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of when that move is made because we saw it happen on Thursday night, I believe it was, with that third line getting the great push. Of course, at Talladega, but they were able to get the momentum they needed just in time to make it happen. But I think you're right, though, Matt. I think it's gonna. I think, like I said, closer to 5 to go should be, I think, the best way to go. It's a lot of movement up front there.
Moving a lot up there.
Yeah, say Vicente had a bit of a wiggle, and then on the inside as well, the 42 of Rick Seabrands, he had a pretty big bobble there as well. But again, able to keep it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, he's still showing nose up there, trying to get somebody to go with him.
Yeah, he's ready. He wants to go, but just doesn't have the takers yet. So it looks like he's going to stay committed, though, and so that's going to be a tough spot here because it looks like I said, nobody's really ready to do it yet. But what is going to happen is he's going to sniff a little bit of draft, so he won't drop too far back as of yet. But yeah, just isn't getting the help he needs here, or definitely not the help he wants right now.
I'm hearing the chatter over the radio.
We got one down on the apron. Looks like he'll be able to squeeze back up there, but yeah, I think it's going to be happening here very soon. So definitely be ready to say. The drivers are ready to say, but it's definitely looks like it's going to be pretty soon here. So you can just see everybody just got that little bit of side to side motion. Just it's getting that tighter and tighter, but. So far, so good for these guys. We're 7 to go here. Next time around, it's going to be 6 to go. The top 35 just touched the apron there of Kyle Power, but he's able to keep it pointing in the right direction. But unfortunately, that call by the 37 to try to jump to the outside line, this is definitely costing a lot of spots here. Just unfortunately, kind of just misjudged when he thought the field was going to make that big push.
I just heard the call over the radio. The 45 was going to try and push Kwabi. I'll probably push up him to the third line here momentarily.
And that's the thing is, I mean, it's eventually going to happen. And say that, of course, the other thing is you always want to be the first one on that third line. I think that's what the 37 Keith Horner was trying to do, but nobody was willing to go with him. But I think it's starting to happen. Yeah, there's 53. Looks like he's starting to peak to the top as well. And yeah, like I said, I see the 45 right along with him, but just they don't have the momentum as of yet, and there's still a fair bit of movement. Like I said, Talladega, it feels pretty comfortable doing it, but Matt, we're at the point where you said it's go time here. We got 5 to go, and I say if we get another yellow here, this will put us in that green-white checker territory, of course. However, if we get to the white flag, at that point, all bets are off. It's just who gets to the finish line first. So we'll see what point we get to in these races here. But yeah, right now still is that 33 and the 06 leading that front row. There's
that third line we've been talking about. There they go.
Was a hopped up in front of the 37. Oh, it's actually the 5. I'm a little surprised by that because that's JD Crow. Again, he's numerous laps down here. So I'm not sure. I honestly say I'm a little surprised for JD to do that, but maybe he's got some plans again, try to help somebody out there. But as I say that though, so he's dropped back now down to the middle. A little bit of
that's a little bit close there. Ooh.
Yeah, they were definitely rubbing doors a little bit there, but it looks like all's okay again at the moment. But yeah, definitely starting to get a little tighter. They're going to start squeezing themselves a little more, and say eventually it's just going to snap, and that's when you're going to get that.
Well, there was a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, you can see so much movement here. I think it's only a matter of time at this point, Matt. These guys are just jumping everywhere here.
Yeah, there's that third line going.
But yeah, now the 37
checking up.
37's finally got the help he was looking for. Up, and here they come. They saw the momentum going, and they go straight to the top there. I think it's David Overstreet who saw that momentum shifting. He jumps to that third lane, and now we're going to be 3x3 here for the front.
There's a lot of moving around. There's contact. There they go. Big wreck.
Oh man, it comes right back up with the track there. We got a huge incident here. I say this is the big one, and then
this is bad. This is real bad.
It's going to be the question of who wasn't involved. The 41 goes up and over there.
Wow.
So this is going to put us in that green-white checker territory here to the end. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be more of who wasn't involved than who was involved here, unfortunately. So I believe Vicente Guerrero got through cleanly. We'll definitely watch from him.
Yes, he did. No damage on his car.
But we're going to go back because at this point now, if you got fast repairs, you're going to be using them. Let's go back here and check what exactly happened. Well, I mean, we know what happened, but how it all kind of kicked off. So I'm having to do a lot of scrolling to find where the incident started here.
Right up front. Yeah, I found it.
You can already see the drivers off sliding, so let's back it up a little more. And I think it's just everybody starting to get a little bit tighter on one another here. So actually, let's look at this from the chopper cam. We'll probably get us a better angle of everything.
It was a push. Nope. It looks like Vicente Guerrero got into the side of the third lane. It pretty much triggered a little bit of netcode involved there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Vicente drifts up just a little bit there. He catches the 68, and at that point, it's just kind of that accordion effect, if you will, as that sends the 06 and the 33 on down. And then it looks like everything's going to be okay for the drivers that are up front here. As you can see, you got 3 of them, or 4 of them, I should say. But then Cody Niegels, he's down on the flat there, and then is going to come straight up into Robert DuPont. Nothing Robert could do there. That's just horrible luck for him. And then you can see he just catches the rest of these guys behind, and you see, the 09 definitely took a wild hit, but this is a parking lot down the front, or down turn 1 and 2 here. Multiple cars. I mean, you got Todd Steele. He's being lifted up and over cars, and you just got pretty much, like I said, pretty much everybody involved in this one. I say, see the 53. I think his night looks like it's probably over as well. And then just it's a parking lot down on the apron as well.
Yes, sir. Like I said, it's a question: who did not get involved? Like you said, I'm trying to scroll through it. Who did not get involved?
I think it may honestly just be Vicente. I think Jim got a piece, but he's decided to stay out. Actually, you know what? Let me see. I know, because everybody here pitted. Oh no, sorry, 74. So it looks like the drivers that stay out here, Matt, are Vicente Guerrero, of course. Jim Brooks, a little bit of damage to that 51 car. We'll see if that affects him at all. However, Dustin Lamb, car looks fairly clean in the 91. Les Levy looking pretty good to me as well in the 62. And then Chummy Miller, the 04,
wow.
The 04 car, he's the last one to stay out, but actually he's kind of got a front clip missing on that car, so he's not going to be in a great position here. So, so we've got, right now we're on the backstretch here. Looks like a lot of drivers, again, still hitting pit road, trying to get damages repaired. Fast repairs, of course, if they have them. But this is gonna be a tough restart because there's gonna be a lot of drivers that are in rough positions here. You see cars that literally have their front and rear clips missing off of them.
And it looks like the modified division out there. It's it's not funny. I mean, it's just gonna be a struggle. I wish those guys would drop to the back when we get the green flag here. Hopefully, we don't get another incident.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is exactly it there, Matt, is the fact that this is attempt number 1 of a green-white checkered. The question will be, of course, do we get attempts number 2 and or 3? So I'll say we're going to get the 1 to go here, so everybody's going to start doubling up, and it's just going to be, I think, who's able to line up with the right person and get that right push at the right time. We're definitely going to see that third line form once more, but the question will be, can they get what they need here and get kind of roared up and get wound up before they get to that white? Because I think if things spread out just enough here before we get that white flag, that should allow for them to then race it out on that final lap to see who gets the win here tonight.
Oh, you know what I'm looking at there? I'm looking at TJ Chummy Esports down there, running 3rd and 5th right there. They get hooked up, but the 5th place has got damage. It's really gonna hurt him.
Yeah, so I'd say, honestly, I think for Chummy, he probably is going to have to look at dropping probably to the apron once they build it. He might be able to build up speed. I mean, the car's not smoking. But, I mean, at this point, I think everybody's just going to try to get what they can. But who I am watching, though, that's kind of peeked into the mix here is that 23 is Sebastian Marin. He's got a clean car once more, and it's going to be in the outside of row number 3. But also Les Levy, that car's still got that center punch rear end, but overall the front end of that car looks pretty good as well. So I think it's just going to be who gets lined up with the right person at the right time here and gets that push to the end. And like I said, I think for me at least, and I think for a lot of these other drivers, a lot of them are just want to try to see that white flag come out and then from there race it on out.
Yeah, I like where Jim Brooks is at right now. I think he's in the best position.
I do, but I don't like that damage. I think he's not going to be a good leader. So that's my concern, is he's just not going to be able to keep up with the draft. So we'll have to wait and see, though. It's going to be Vicente Guerrero leading the field, Jim Brooks to his outside, and then you got Dustin Lamb, Les Levy on the inside. And Jim's way up top here, so this is not going to be the start he was looking for. This is going to really help that inside line. He's actually jumping straight to the top here. This is going to really set him back right off the bat.
I think that's a smart move by Jim.
Yeah, so that might be the damage that we talked about. He knew he was in trouble, so he's just jumped straight to the top. But again, it's can they keep it clean, though? Because there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving right away here. So
those Chummy Esports guys, look at them.
We
got turned.
They're off the track. We got a wreck up top as it will yellow back on out here. Multiple cars once again involved. You see the 17 Jimmy Reynolds going around here. And trying to see who else is involved there. Robert Rock was involved. I think Eric Laurie, I saw a piece of that as well. So we did not get to that white, so we're going to do this at least one more time, possibly two. But it looks like at the point of yellow, looks like Les Levy winds up in the lead here. So let's go back and see what happened here. And then we'll catch back up.
That was a push gone wrong.
Alright, let's back it up here. And I said, if I'm not mistaken, that was the 04 who was missing that front clip there. And I think, like I said, I think that was the problem. There was just too much damage to try to lead that second groove here. So we'll take a look, though, as we watch again as they come through.
Yeah, he hooked him right into his left rear. Bad place to push.
But then you see behind them, it's all kicking off as well there. You see the 42. I think it's just kind of that accordion effect, if you will. And so I see Eric Laurie, he gets a couple shots there as well. The 06 of Cody Niegels, he gets another piece as well. And there's a 17, he gets sent off to the inside. So actually, yeah, Jim gets a piece of it as well. So he's dropping to the back, and unfortunately still winds up in the middle of it all. So yeah, not what they're looking for there, unfortunately, here.
Yeah, it's a tough break for them.
All right, so again, quick yellow here. So I'm going to step away with Matt for just a moment, and we'll get back here once again on the one to go. All right, lights are back off of the pace car. So now, again, front row changing once more here. It's going to be Les Levy leading, Sebastian Marin to his outside. And then you got those Chummy Esports boys, though. Dustin Lamb, TJ Allen's third and fourth. And then Michael Pegg's back up there. Brian Grimm along with them in row 3. Row 4, you've got Donald Stewart and Jay Hilliard. A great recovery for Jay Hilliard. And then our top 10, Rick Seabrands and Jim Brooks here. So, again, not feeling super confident about Jim that you saw him drop to the back, but I think pretty much the rest of those cars in the top 10 definitely have a chance. Again, this is green-white checkered attempt number 2 here, and it's going to be up to Les Levy to try to control this restart. But at this point, though, Matt, I'm watching row 2.
All bets are off. Yes, I am.
If those two can get hooked up together, you know they're going to stay dedicated. So we'll see.
Yes, they are.
As we get back to green here, I say green-white checkered attempt number 2.
I got my eyes on TJ Allen right now.
Oh, great start, though, by Sebastian Marin. I say not sure, maybe a slow shift or what happened for Les Levy. That's going to drop him back a little bit here.
He's getting pushed by Brian Grimm there.
Yeah, let's say that's allowed the 95 of TJ Allen to work the outside line. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Yeah, say Jim's, he's falling back, so he's definitely missing the whole front clip of that car. But right now, yeah, that 40 is just pushing that 95 for all they're worth here down the back.
I wouldn't even worry about water temperature, oil temperature right now at this point.
No, I think you got it as cool as you could under yellow, and then at this point, yeah, you just lay
Push
on
it
that
for all
bumper.
it's worth.
Yep. But now the question is, let's say first job is to get to the white flag, which it looks like we're looking good to do. As yep, white flag is out. Oh no, actually, as they got to the line, yellow comes out, and we're gonna get our third attempt here. It looked like it was gonna be all swell, but nope. The attempt number 3 is coming out here. And it looks like, unfortunately, it was towards the back of the pack here. So let's go back. And, as I'm looking at my timing and scoring, that white flag had just started to come out there before the yellow came out. However, they had not crossed the line. So that's going to give us our final attempt number 3.
We were about 500 feet from the line.
Yeah, exactly right. So let's go back and take a look. And unfortunately, I think it may be with some of the drivers kind of, stuck in behind some of these damaged cars. Yeah, I see Todd Steele's. He gets a piece of Derek Gilray there, and then also involved in there, trying to see who some of these other damaged cars are. Looks like Joseph Morales was one as well. And yeah, so unfortunately, that's what brings out the yellow there. So it's been a tough one for these drivers, and I'll say that's going to give us just one more restart to go, and we'll see. Now it's going to be, looks like TJ Allen had the lead, I believe, at the point of the yellow, or at least at the timing line, I should say. So we'll jump back live here. And actually, no, it looks like it's, I believe, Sebastian Marin, but I'm wondering, how tight are these guys on fuel possibly, Matt? Because, again, some of these drivers probably were planning on not having to run the green-white checkers, and maybe while they pitted, they may have just put a splash of fuel in these cars, so some of these guys might be cutting it pretty shy here. So that being said, though, again, we're not going to see a lot of stuff over here under yellow here. So again, we'll step away for just a brief moment, and we'll be back again on the one to go. All right, lights are off the pace car. We're coming down the backstretch. So this is it, though. This is attempt number 3. It doesn't matter if it's green or checker or yellowed. If we get a caution out, this is going to end it under caution flag conditions. So what they need to do here is they got to get to the white flag, Matt. That way they can race out to the end. Nobody wants to see these races end under yellow. So like I said, we were like 500 feet away from getting it on that last one. We'll see if we. I mean, at this point, we're going to get it done this time. But the question is, under pace or under speed. So front row, Sebastian Marin, TJ Allen. Second row is going to be Les Levy and Brian Grimm. Row number 3 is Dustin Lamb and Donald Stewart. And then you got Michael Pegg and Jay Hilliard, row 4. And then rounding out our top 10 is William George and David Overstreet. So let's say...
I really hate to bring this up, Gaio, but are these guys going to make enough fuel?
It's a question mark. That's definitely... I mean, it looked like Sebastian was saving fuel during that yellow, so we'll see. But he gets a great start once again. That might be a bad thing for him, as we already got one going through the grass. It looks like he's going to keep a cut left, so I think that was just to try to keep this race under green. So definitely... I'll say things just. I think everybody's getting more and more wound up here in these late race restarts. Yep. But
Marin's going to be hung out here.
Too good of a start there for Marin. They say Leslie just wasn't able to keep with him, and that's allowed the second line here to start to pick up a lot of momentum here as they come down the back.
TJ Allen with the lead. Hopefully the 40 can clear the 23rd. They are both clear.
I said, but TJ's got to be.
But TJ's going to stay up top.
He waited too long. Either he waited too long to cut down, or he decided this was his better option to run that second line. So we'll see. But right now it's Brian Grimm leading the way here. But there's Sebastian Marin. He saw the momentum. He's going to jump to the top here and try to take this momentum as we're going to cross the line. This time looks like we will get the white flag, Matt. We got one to go here at Daytona. At this point, all bets are off as who gets out of the line first.
Yeah, I question that with TJ. He probably should have cut down there.
Well, we'll see. I mean, TJ's still got some opportunities here. So he's got his teammate just to the left of him. Can they get together somehow? Oh, we got Big Wiggle in the back. Oh, he's going.
Save it. Yep. Did he save it?
Dustin Lamb hangs on to it, but unfortunately it's going to cost him a ton of spots. But TJ Allen is shoving Sebastian Marin now to the front. They both clear. And there goes TJ. He drops to the inside line. Sebastian Marin does as well. Do they have momentum here?
Oh, God.
Oh, big wreck off of 4.
Big wreck in the back.
It's going to be now
it's going to be up to the 2.
Yep. Now the question, who gets third? Because everybody's just piling on in there. And Sebastian Marin's going to get the win.
Looks like Michael Pegg is going to come home third.
Michael Pegg finds a way to bounce that car around. He's going to grab our third place tonight. But it's going to be, so we talked about week after week, Sebastian Marin finds a way to get to the front. He's going to get another win here tonight.
I'm sorry, I didn't really cut you off there, Guy, but I heard that some of the drivers ran out of fuel, and that's what caused that.
Oh man, that it makes sense. So it's going to be Sebastian Marin getting the win here tonight at Daytona. So definitely an attrition-filled race there at the end. So you can see him wiggling that car around. Not sure if he's out or if he's just celebrating here. TJ Allen, though, a great run for him, grabbing second place. Michael Pegg found a way to grab third position here. And so, yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to get some interviews with these guys here momentarily. But this might be a burnout-less finish here. Well, we'll see. Actually, looks like Sebastian's going to help out a fellow driver. So actually looks like Sebastian might be good on fuel. Just playing it nice here. So before we get to the interviews, though, let's go ahead and pull up our results, Matt. Actually, results aren't finished yet, actually. I think that's why I think some of these cars haven't been able to cross the line yet. Yeah. I think that's exactly what's going on. But yeah, our top 3, there are no questions there. It's going to be Sebastian Marin, TJ Allen, and Michael Pegg. So trying to see if Michael is around. We can pull him up for an interview while we're kind of waiting for the finishes to get formalized. Now we got our final results up, so let's go ahead and pull up those final results as we watch Sebastian Marin at the start-finish line. But it's going to be Sebastian Marin by about a second over TJ Allen, Michael Pegg in third. You got Rick Seabrands, William George, Donald Stewart, David Overstreet. Kwabi Brooks somehow finds a way to get a top 8. Robert Rock, Chummy Miller, a top 10. And 11th on back, you've got Todd Steele, TJ Mashaw, Brian Grimm, Bob Fitzgerald, Peter DeBorgia, Jimmy Reynolds, Dustin Lamb, Jim Brooks. So we still got cars coming across the line backwards here. We'll continue on here. And you got 21st Vicente Guerrero, Keith Horner, Gaetano Papagliardo, Kevin LaChance, Mark Mann, James Hickson, Derek Gilray, Eric Rory, Joseph Miles, Jack Walsh, Cody Neagle, Robert Hunt, Val Howard, Dean Wilkinson, Jimmy Crow, Scott Ferguson, and Zach Rich. So we're not done yet. Unfortunately, Seth Gruber, Michael Spell, Patrick Gruber are our final 41 finishers here tonight. But just for good measure, Matt, he had fuel to the finish, fuel for a burnout, and he's going to park it there at the start finish line.
Yeah. So what rumor was, TJ ran out of fuel just before he crossed the start finish line. So if you would have saved a little fuel at that caution, I think he probably would have made it happen.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I saw him drop back pretty abruptly, and I think that was exactly what it was. I'm not seeing Michael Pegg at the moment, so we'll go ahead and we'll grab TJ Allen. We'll start off with him, and we'll get some interviews going here. So let's go ahead and try to find our last lap here.
I'm watching post-race, trying to push him up back to the pits.
All right, so let's go ahead and pull TJ Allen on in here, our third place finisher. Man, definitely a wild one. I'd say it's been a long time since we had to run all three green-white checkers here tonight, but we did this evening, and it definitely looked like it cost a few drivers and caught a few drivers off guard, and you included. Unfortunately didn't give you the chance to try to make a move on Sebastian, but were able to put yourself in a position to still at least grab that second position tonight. Just take us through the race. You gained 34 spots tonight, first off, so congratulations there. I believe that easily makes you the highest climber. But yeah, just take us through what you had to do there to be in contention at the end, because it definitely was a wild one.
Well, heck yeah. First thing I want to say is thanks to Area 51 for allowing us to hop on board this season and help them out and get this stuff rolling. It's been a blast so far. So I started from the rear of the field because it's so hard to find your pit stall going down pit road, and I figured it'd be my best shot just to be in the back, but there really was no place to go. The cars, you really couldn't gain on anybody. It was just every time somebody would gain on somebody, then it would check up in the front and back everybody up, and it was just kind of like a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on there. Obviously, then you had to make the strategies and keep the car clean and make it to the end. So, like I said, it did a lot. There was a lot of opportunities there. So I'd say the only question mark, well, I think it actually kind of came to a wash because of the fuel situation. But there's one point where it looked like you and the 40 were cleared, could have dropped to the inside line, but he was able to sneak under you. Was that just you wanting to stay in that middle to top groove, or was that just him kind of able to cut under you just before you had a chance to protect it?
Well, I was going to try to get down in front of him before he cut down, but he just was able to get down there quicker than I was. I'm just glad that I was able to get back up into my spot without wrecking or anything. The fuel mileage at the end, I was hoping that I was going to be good to go, but that last caution that came out was the one that sealed the deal. But I tried to give the 23 one heck of a push so I can jump down on that inside line and get on his inside, but there was just not enough fuel. You can't get there.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, it was definitely a wild one. So we saw a lot of drivers running out there, but definitely, awesome job grabbing that second spot here tonight. So definitely want to give you the floor here. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys hopping on board and helping the league out a ton as well. So definitely want to give you the floor here for thanks and shouts and everybody that's kind of helped you get you here to the second place tonight.
Oh, heck, I'm going to do the first one. Chummy Miller, he jumped on to the TJ's travel shop and became a partner, and he's the reason why I'm literally sitting here with you guys right now in my van, by the way, van lifer, doing this in my van. I want to shout out thanks to all the sponsors, Cavs Carnage, Five Lakes Energy, my grandma and my Aunt Wendy that's sitting inside watching, all the guys that are watching. We try to get as many people watching these races as we can.
I say they're gonna be very happy, of course, to see you get that second place. I say you just got one spot to go for next time. So, just awesome job though tonight, TJ. Like I said, appreciate you guys being on board here as well. So enjoy this one. Definitely look forward to seeing you in some future interviews here, sir.
Oh, for sure. Thanks a lot.
All right, that's going to bring us over to our race winner tonight. And it doesn't seem to matter, Sebastian, if you're up front, if you're in the back, if you're caught up in wrecks, you're going to find your way to the front at the end if that thing's got wheels and a motor. And once again, able to get it done here tonight. Just how how up and down was that race for you? I mean, we saw you up front early on, obviously got the pole, but then just some strategy, stayed towards the back, and then just has a little bit of everything, it looks like, tonight.
Yeah, I started up front, and I wanted to see how the racing was going to be. And after that first yellow played out, I kind of got a feeling of how the guys were going to race tonight. So I knew it was going to be a little calm till the end of the race. So after that first yellow, I decided to go to the back, save some fuel, play a little strategy. And then when it got down to it, obviously, if they got a little sketchy and avoid some wrecks, which I did, and got up front at the end. I was so close on fuel. I mean, I finished the race, and I was going to be on fumes coming out of 2, so it was close.
Yeah, you're the guy who was right behind you ran out of fuel just before crossing the start-finish line and gave up second place.
Yeah, I saw that. He was going to have a chance. I was ready to at least block it, and I saw his car kind of. I thought it was him lifting or hitting the brakes. I'm like, oh, that's odd. And they kept doing it, and then I realized that he ran out of fuel. And I think if the guys behind me didn't wreck, they probably would have gotten to me because I would have been up front by myself, and there was 2 or 3 cars that were lined up, and they would have had a massive run.
I'm gonna notice all night that your restarts have been phenomenal. I mean, you can pull out for like a car, 2 car lengths. Is it a moment of timing, or you shouting out to guys behind you, or how does that go?
Yeah, I got it down timed pretty good. I consider that I have a pretty good reaction time, and whenever I see green, I just gun it. And depending what it is, I might side draft a little bit to help me in the momentum. You might see that on the restarts, that I might go down and then open up so they can't side draft me, and that gets me the momentum. Plus, on that, when I passed the last, he had a little bit of damage, so I knew if I got a good restart, I would have cleared him, and I did. So
I'll say a well-earned win once again here, Sebastian. Say it doesn't matter. Say you seem to always find a way to get it done. So definitely, though, want to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that win tonight?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to you guys for putting on this broadcast. It's always a blast hearing you guys coming back, and I tend to watch most of the broadcast back. It's a lot of fun. I want to thank the boot knockers who've obviously welcomed me with open arms. They've been great guys to race with, and it's been a lot of fun. So
yeah, they're a tough group to to get by, but I know you can manage.
Say enjoy this one, Sebastian. Say enjoy the rest of the evening, and hopefully we'll catch you on track here soon in a few more nights. So until then, though, enjoy this one, and congrats again, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Good night.
All right, Matt. That is our race winner, Sebastian Marin in that 23. Somehow finds a way to get these wins. Say it wasn't with lack of attrition tonight, but wild one this evening. But say as always, appreciate you being on here to help me out.
Thank you.
Of course, everybody else watching here with Green White Checker TV supporting us. Thank you all so much for being a part of it. So we'll be back on Tuesday night for the Tuesday IndyCar IRA teams with Dark Horse Racing, and Monday we'll be on Max Speed TV with the Next Gen. So definitely stay tuned and keep in touch with them. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Have a good night, everyone.
Viva Las Vegas.